It's your boy Chris, aka Mr. Fantastic, and with me always is John.
How'd I do?
All right, a few things going on this week. Where do we want to start? We want to talk about games. We want to talk about weather. Where are we at?
There's a lot of recent news for games this week, so we could start with that.
Should we start with Modern Warfare?
Yes, Modern Warfare now should be at 24 hours since they announced the
trailer.
well, the trailer, but people trying to figure out if it's an actual continuation or
It's not.
It's really not at this point.
Yeah, no, it's official. It is going to be a reboot.
But so far they also announced in the same announcement, no season pass. Crossplay, so Xbox can play with PC players. And more likely we're also gonna get a separate co-op campaign.
Interesting.
More likely the Spec Ops like the original Modern Warfare game.
Yeah, like similar to what they did in Modern Warfare 2. I think it's pretty exciting.
They brought back one of my favorite persons.
Captain Price. Yeah.
Sorry, it's Captain John Price.
Okay.
I'm
Sure.
joking.
But yeah, it is official that this is going to be a reboot of the original game. And
essentially, it's Activision's like last hope before they had to crash Call of Duty.
yeah, what's really cool though is that this is on a brand new engine.
Yeah, it is.
It looks gorgeous, and 4K capabilities. It's really the high end for Call of Duty right now. This new engine.
The entire time watching the actual Modern Warfare trailer, it's just reminded me Modern Warfare 1 for COD 4. It's just, in a way, it's basically a homage to its original predecessor.
Absolutely. I just find it weird though. I mean, I'm definitely excited about it, but I find it funny how it wasn't that long ago that they put out the HD remake of Call of Duty 4, and now here they are with this new take on it.
Because people complain about how you had to get the remake.
Yeah, that was the big issue. Is that it was part of the collector's edition for Infinite Warfare, I think it was. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was Infinite Warfare that came after Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, it was attached to Infinite Warfare.
Yep.
No, it did not have all the maps.
All right.
I'm not. I think it did have the actual single player.
Yeah, but there's gonna be a whole new take on it with the brand new campaign. It's here. Let me bring up the description from the
so far from a
trailer.
I'm not sure if it's actually the same voice actor or maybe it is.
I don't think it is. Yeah, either way, I mean, I love the original voice actor, but if it is a new one, so far it seems like he's doing a pretty good job.
It's just his voice is now different.
Maybe, especially because he's trying to perceive a younger Captain Price, so it seems the Captain Price we saw in Modern Warfare 1 rather than Modern Warfare 3.
Well, the way that they portray
pre-Gulag Price.
The way they portray Price now, it looks like he's a little bit weathered in. Saying, hey, so how do you normally do this? He's like, oh, well, a couple friends.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's obviously experienced. He's still Captain Price, not Lieutenant Price.
Yeah.
As well as he has Bravo 6. So yeah, this is obviously Captain, but I mean, this isn't the same Captain Price we saw in Modern Warfare 3. This isn't the older.
I'm 4 days from retirement.
Yeah, and even arguably deranged, like
that's it. Yeah. That was his.
Literally went through a Russian gulag.
Probably twice.
Yeah. But anyway, so here's what was in the description. The stakes have never been higher as players take on the role of lethal Tier 1 operators in a heart-racing saga that will affect the global balance of power. Call of Duty Modern Warfare engulfs fans in an incredibly raw, gritty, provocative narrative that brings unrivaled intensity and shines a light on the changing nature of modern war. Developed by the studio that started it all, Infinity Ward delivers an epic reimagining. So it is a reimagining and a reboot of the iconic Modern Warfare series from the ground up. So this is starting from Call of Duty 4. In the visceral and dramatic single-player story campaign, Call of Duty Modern Warfare pushes boundaries and breaks rules the only way Modern Warfare can. players will engage in breathtaking covert operations alongside a diverse cast of international special forces throughout iconic European cities and volatile expanses of the Middle East. So yeah, this seems like it's gonna be really similar to Modern Warfare 1.
The original Modern Warfare.
Yeah. But it is gonna be a reimagining. I'm certain it's gonna be between both the campaign as well as just the environment that they're gonna put in for multiplayer and co-op.
Especially since they specifically said no season pass. So I'm kind of
yeah.
But they said maps are gonna be free, but Activision needs money, so
yeah, we'll see how it goes if there actually does end up being any like DLCs later down the line. But if it is a full game, hey, that's a first, and that's a good step. That's a big step in a good direction.
Well, because here's the thing: what they could actually do, like the original Modern Warfare, is yes, no season pass, but you can later actually put out map bundles,
maybe
like remastered maps.
Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible.
You know, maybe another remastered Rust.
Maybe. Oh man, that'd be nuts for a remaster of Rust.
But hey, we got Ghost back.
Do we?
Probably.
I mean, that was in because Ghost was in
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, and wasn't he? I'm trying to think.
He was later down the line, I believe, in 6. Well, not.
In Bravo 6. Was he in the Bravo 6 team? Or no, it was 141. It was when Soap was captain in Modern Warfare 2. Like the team was different between each game.
That was Shepard's team.
Oh, he was on Shepard's team?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I played Modern Warfare 2. I don't even remember.
Because that's when Shepard betrayed Ramirez.
Yeah, but for all we know, like this might have a totally different villain anyway, totally different other side characters. It might not. It might have the same main characters and just different. Who knows? We might be playing as Soap again for all we know.
Well, maybe the actual characters can have the same experience, but if their actual story ended, maybe that ending never happened to them.
Yeah, like this is a different take. This is like a different universe.
Right.
So different things can happen. Different things should happen for this to be a reboot in the first place, or a reimagining as they specifically stated. But yeah, I mean, it definitely looks really good. I like how they're keeping the parallels between being in Bravo 6's team as well as in what's probably going to be either the Marines or the Army Rangers as it was previously.
Yeah. It's very shocking that a lot of players are saying, "Wait, you guys are listening to us?"
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Especially since, Activision saying, "Hey, 2020, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You're done.
Yeah.
Pack your shit and get out."
Yep. So.
Another news.
Mm-hmm.
Square Enix announced they're working on an Avengers game.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember you sent me that. Yeah.
Yeah. My theory is, I'm just throwing out in left field. It's probably gonna be another Avengers Ultimate.
Maybe. Wow, it's been a long time since there's been one of those games.
It's not gonna be like the original games, but it's like, hey, it's gonna be almost a homage.
That'd be cool, like a story-based fighter.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
Probably not.
But also, for sure. If not, it'd probably be like a. Well, no, only because Square Enix is developing it. Yeah, I would assume that Square Enix, isn't historically the fighting game developer.
Sleeping Dogs.
Oh no, I mean like one-on-one fighting game.
Oh, no.
like Injustice or like Street Fighter.
No, at that point, they could have just handed it over to
Capcom.
Well, Capcom or I keep forgetting who does what's it called, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I don't remember either. It's been a long time since I've even played Mortal Kombat.
Who makes Mortal Kombat? I keep forgetting. Because I know the creator of Mortal Kombat is Ed Boon.
Yeah.
Fucking Ed Boon, dude. NetherRealm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they also did a little bit with Injustice.
Right. But yeah, no. Concerning this is a Square Enix project, I can definitely see this being like something similar to Avengers Ultimates. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. Which is it's a big throwback if they do that.
Oh, a huge throwback. That would definitely attract returning fans as well as just Marvel fans in general. Especially if they base it in the Marvel MCU, which I assume is going to be the case because it seems like they're advertising it to be based on the MCU Avengers.
Yeah, more likely.
Yeah, that's most likely going to be the case. That would definitely be interesting. I mean, it would be different because of course it would be a different cast, but I don't know. I can see it as an opportunity to bring back old fans of that game as well as to bring in new fans of just Marvel in general, especially fans of the movie, especially younger fans.
Younger fans introduce new fans.
Yeah.
It's the reason why we're getting a lot of these is because E3 is around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So we're definitely going to see the actual game there.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about a lot more news in the coming weeks in the gaming industry for a little bit.
Especially Bethesda, if they even show their face again.
Oh man, if Todd comes back in, hey, he wants to play Skyrim again.
Hey,
he wants to play Skyrim
guys,
for the 20th time.
Hear me out. Skyrim, but it's in Fallout. Wait, we already did that.
Oh yeah, Fallout 76. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think? There is a new Elder Scrolls in the works.
Well,
that probably is what they're going to be coming in
actually,
with. No.
They already announced they're not going to show their space game. The Starlink. I don't even know what it is.
Bethesda's making a sci-fi game?
Yeah, it was a sci-fi game, and then after that was Elder Scrolls 6. They announced that they're not going to be showing anything of those. I know they're going to have id Software, who makes the wonderful Doom games.
Starfield?
Yeah, it's a Star something game.
Yeah,
it's
Starfield. Yeah, I did not hear about this.
They announced that one first, and then they're like, all right, and then in the far future, after this game is out, basically Skyrim 2.0 is out.
Okay, so they're saying that they're working on it.
Yeah. They announced that, hey, it's officially in works.
Oh.
I know we're going to get more Doom gameplay.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for Doom Eternal.
Yeah, especially since after the
that'll be exciting.
Raycon.
Oh yeah, that'll be really exciting.
You saw that they added basically invasions into the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was very interesting.
Yeah. It's an interesting choice.
At first, I wasn't a big fan of it, but then I grew accustomed to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm still getting used to how they made the character actually even bulkier.
Oh yeah, I mean it's different, but it's not a terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
Could definitely introduce a new experience in the Doom games,
the best,
which isn't terrible.
No, what's even funnier, it's all the Doom games are still connected.
Oh yeah,
since the first one.
Oh yeah, that's one of the most amazing things about this franchise for how it's been around for so long.
Even the shitty games are still connected.
Yeah, yeah. They
the ending of 3, like Doom 3 BFG.
Mm-hmm.
That ending is where you pick up immediately with Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Where you just wake up naked and grab your armor.
Yeah.
Sounds like a normal Friday night.
Jesus.
So yeah, we're gonna be
talking a lot about video games for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's always gaming news. It's a constantly changing industry.
Yeah. We're probably gonna get another Nintendo peripheral.
There has been talk about the next Zelda game already.
Yeah. I know when the Breath of the Wild came out, they're like, yeah, we're working on a new one.
Yeah, there's going to be a continuation of the Breath of the Wild, actually, of that universe.
Oh.
That timeline.
Well, that's new.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because if you look at the Zelda actual timeline, it's nowhere, roughly anywhere.
I mean, the timeline's still beneficial.
It's official.
It's just still not one. It's 3.
Yeah,
it's a split timeline.
This one's I'm imagining it's a split 4.
It's been a while since I checked. I'm not really sure where Breath of the Wild sits in the timeline. Except it's supposed to be furthest in the future. I'm just not sure on which timeline it's supposed to be in. All we know is that this is the latest installment in the franchise, not just chronologically, but actually in the story. Yeah. It takes place furthest in the future. And so we're really just they're really just going to continue that line for a little bit. Yeah. I guess that being said, it's most likely the adult timeline, but I don't know.
Who knows? We're probably gonna get Legends of Zelda Vice City.
No.
Come on.
No.
Epona, the Knight Rider car.
No, this is Nintendo.
Well, I'm not saying they have to put the drugs in. But...
No, it's pure. It's wholesome, and it doesn't change. They don't take risks. They already made the perfect games.
I know.
That's why everyone keeps on coming back to Nintendo. Anyway,
yeah, it was a hot weekend last weekend for Memorial.
Don't even tell me. Working at the pool. I don't think I've mentioned on the podcast that I work as a lifeguard, but yeah, it has been busier and it has been hotter, and it's just getting more and more miserable as the weeks continue for me right now.
Oh, I just skipped over something about a recent game.
Oh, what's that?
Death Stranding. Have you seen the trailer?
I have not.
We finally get some answers, and they're not for the questions we asked.
Oh, of course not.
It's very interesting.
More questions then?
Well, yeah.
Than answers. One of those tension builders.
We got some gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Actual gameplay.
Yeah.
So far from what we're seeing is you play Norman Reedus with a tiny Norman Reedus on his chest.
Okay.
Best way you can describe it is the world got conquered by whatever, I guess, death itself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, but the baby can actually detect it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then different factions are basically terrorist groups. So you gotta dodge those people.
Okay.
Norman Reedus is basically, hey, I don't want to be the hero. They're like, you gotta do it, but he's like, it's not gonna do anything if I even do shit. And I'm like, you know what? This is why we like him.
Of course.
You know how Kojima always puts himself in the game?
Yeah.
This time they put Guillermo del Toro in game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's one of the characters.
Oh, that's great.
It's actually a long list of characters that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Like famous actors.
Yeah.
We got Mads, who played Hannibal.
Mm-hmm. We
got Guillermo del Toro. We got Norman Reedus, who played in The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Where's the rest?
It's been a long time coming for this, hasn't it been?
Way too long, since the actual events of Silent Hill playable teaser got basically destroyed.
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was.
It's been a long time coming for this, but Kojima tends to deliver. It's also like, it's crazy, looking back on the history of the gaming history of Kojima as a developer, him and where his companies come from, and
we got Leia.
Seeing what he's working on now, it's interesting. It's pretty impressive,
I just
actually.
found the cast list.
Yeah.
We got Leia Sadox.
Okay.
We got Margaret Qualley. Guillermo del Toro, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Wynn Ryland. Tommy Earl Jenkins. And
really?
Troy Baker.
Really?
He's back again. Lindsay Wagner.
Okay.
And it's the major cast.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting Troy Baker, but again, it's another Kojima game. So
yeah, and he has that amazing voice.
By law, have to be in anything that Kojima makes.
Yeah.
By law.
Yeah. No, that's great though. It's pretty exciting. Was there anything else we missed with the gaming news before we move on?
Well, I mean, other than Konami sitting in their office saying, "God damn it."
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like that's what I was hinting at. It's been a while for Kojima. Like how long he's been in the game as a developer, let alone where his company is now. It's it's really interesting seeing where everything's going.
This is the first game out of on his own.
Yeah, but it's looking pretty promising.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but at least that gives us an idea that there's time and care being put into this, and that there's going to be we can expect an impressive delivery.
I know it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Of course, it's going to be.
well, no, that's technically the only way he can get it published at the moment.
Yeah, no,
Maybe down the road he'll get it remastered.
Yeah, I mean, it's Silent Hill. That's likely what's going to happen anyway.
Well, it's not Silent Hill.
But yeah, but it's supposed to be. Wasn't it supposed to be in that universe? It's like in that.
Well, technically,
based within that.
He can't say yes or no.
Right.
Because
legally
yes,
anyway.
Well, we can assume it's like, oh yeah, it's Silent Hill universe. No, if he says yes, Konami will hunt him down.
Yeah, that's the whole problem.
And torture him with pachinko machines.
Jesus.
Hi, we remastered the best game ever, only on a pachinko machine.
It's terrible.
I told you that, right?
What?
So Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. One of my favorite games. I played the remastered version for the PlayStation 3.
Mm-hmm.
Later, they remastered it for the 3DS, which had...
Oh.
Well, no. Here's the thing. It had even better graphics. And then later, I'm like, oh, they just put out a trailer for Metal Gear Remastered again.
Mm-hmm.
It's even more beautiful. I think it was running on the more recent Metal Gear 5 engine.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out it was only for a pachinko machine.
Oh.
It's just the cutscenes for the pachinko. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, why you gotta do this to us? Why you come into my house?
It literally is torture.
Why you come into my house? Disrespect me. Spit on my floor on the day of my daughter's wedding.
That's terrible.
Out of all the days you can do that, but not today.
What have I ever done to you? Okay.
What's it called? The Funkland. Sorry, I don't know why I had it written down like the Funkland and other YouTube channels.
Okay.
For some reason I've just been on a nostalgia kickback.
Okay, you've been binging a bit.
A little bit.
Okay. Been there. Actually, probably still there a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just seeing stuff that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Even though it was technically there.
Yep.
Recently, I've been watching another channel called Blame It on George, which I told you about.
Right.
They talk about lost episodes, some episodes of shows that theoretically exist, but no one can remember or where can they find it.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that Johnny Bravo had a talk show.
What?
There was a talk show.
Like an actual talk show, or like a talk show within the show?
No, an actual talk show.
Really?
Yeah, where like, hey, you can call in and you can talk to Johnny Bravo.
Oh, okay.
Which was weird, and then
that'd be a pretty funny specific thing to assign to a voice actor. I can imagine back then Hanna-Barbera just like, hey.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera was experimenting a lot back then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, for Johnny Bravo, I mean that was starting back in like the early '90s.
Yeah, that was like on the verge of like, hey, Cartoon Network is gonna change format soon.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. And that was around that time that like Cartoon Network was building up in the '90s. That it was switching from Hanna-Barbera and getting other animators and creators involved. Crap. What was the guy? McCracken, the guy that made the Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends, just to name one. Like a few. Anyway, yeah, that's when it was changing. But you said they had a talk show.
Yeah, essentially he did. He'll have, sometimes he'll talk to other cast of characters. Of
really? Like other Hanna-Barbera shows, like Fred Flintstone or something?
Like, you remember the Cartoon Network commercials like, hey, it's in the Cartoon Network offices where you see the characters walking
Yeah, the
around.
promos and stuff like that, where it's all like it's all like
it's a one universe.
Yeah.
Essentially, he's like, hey, we're having a talk show. You want to come in on my show?
You know, there actually is a fan theory that all the Cartoon Network shows are in the same universe.
Theoretically, yes, they are.
It's a pretty cool theory if you ever check it out.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of things like, hey, we acknowledge that show.
Yeah, as well as because they've always done tons of crossovers with all their shows. So I can easily see that as a thing, of them incorporating different shows into one specific project based on one show in order to promote the other. And that it just kind of feels kind of cool seeing like crossovers as a kid. It's just kind of cool. It's like, oh, these characters and these characters, and it's just kind of fun. It's like meeting. It's like having two different friends from different places meet. You know, it's crossover.
Yeah, the channel also talks about some rip-offs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or like some weird spin-off that no one really talks about.
Oh, okay, or like Chinese remakes, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I just got reminded.
Bootlegs.
You ever remember a show called Out of Jimmy's Head?
Yeah, that I remember. It didn't really run for a very long time. It wasn't. Oh yeah, it wasn't successful at all. I personally wasn't too into it.
There's technically a lot of missing episodes.
Of course there was. I mean,
there's no home release.
Yeah, it was that show maybe ran for like a week after it had one original movie.
No, I remember it was like half. It was actually a full season they ran.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't watch much of it. But it was only like one season after they canceled it. Like they must have been getting terrible ratings for it.
No, I believe they did 2 seasons.
Really?
I think they only released half of the second season.
So you're saying that they likely recorded more, but they canceled it because
they had to stop it.
Right. No, actually, that makes sense. Typically, they'll record ahead that way. It's because you have to pre-record before it all goes through editing, especially for a show like that had post-animation. Now that makes sense. It was also just weird to have because for anyone that doesn't know the show Out of Jimmy's Head, it was basically like Space Jam, the show, but with a kid in middle school, where it was I believe.
No, but here's the thing. No one else can see the cartoon characters. It's just the main character.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, to give people the perspective. It's that it's recorded in real life, but they added animated characters that the main character can communicate with. The only thing is that no one else can communicate with them. The whole thing was that, or the whole premise, the whole plot was that he had a brain transplant. He had a brain transplant. A brain transplant with he got the brain of the
like quote unquote greatest cartoonist.
Yeah, basically it was as if he got the brain of the guy who created Looney Tunes of that universe.
Essentially, it's like, hey, you just got the head of Disney now.
Yeah, or like the head of Looney Tunes or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, and so he just sees these characters as if they're like real people, but no one else can see them. And that was the plot, and it didn't really escalate into anything really interesting. Also, because it was weird because it was a live action TV show with animation, and it was a weird thing for like kids to adopt while they were watching other much better completely animated shows. I think that was also around the same time that like if I remember correctly, I think that show was running at around the same time as a lot of other live action.
Yes, that was part of their live
CN
action
Reel, the CN Reel Cartoon Network block that they had for a little while, for like a couple of years, where they just had a bunch of live action shows that people didn't really catch on to.
Like, dude, what would happen?
Yeah, Destroy, Build, Destroy.
With Andrew WK.
Yeah, that one I was a little bit into, but like those shows went stale really quickly because it was kind of the same thing over and over again.
Oh, and then they had Ghost Hunters on there for
that was the most ridiculous thing. Why are you putting that on Cartoon Network?
On a kids network.
Yeah, like that was.
And no, here's the thing.
It's kind of a weird thing looking back at all this stuff.
And they would put it at late at night.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like now being a young adult and looking back on things that I watched as a kid and thinking about like what were these people thinking. I and yeah, especially because I can understand, because Cartoon Network has always been it was for a long time, it was, and I would say it still is even now. I'm not totally sure what's running on there now, but it's been a place for like new creators to get exposed. Like they were always open to putting in new shows, even if only runs for a week, or at least so it seems, because they did that quite a few times, both with live action shows and animated shows. There have been a lot of shows that ran on that channel that ended up getting canceled because they were getting new developers involved. But what ended up happening is that those writers and creators eventually ended up making better shows later down the line for them. So
yeah, and again with like lost media, there's sometimes media that you actually don't expect finding, like the original promo, the original pilot for Drake and Josh had a different dad.
Really?
Yeah, it was an entire different actor.
Huh. That's funny.
And then later down the road, they asked the actors, like, yeah, it was a different guy.
Huh. Wow, that's funny. It's funny how that works out sometimes with recasts, especially, oh man, when people talk about recasts in Game of Thrones, or like recasts in like in the Marvel movies, like really big ones, like, hey, remember when Rhodey had a different face? Remember when Bruce had a different face? And in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Dumbledore was alive.
Remember when Dumbledore had a different face? Yeah, I mean, well, it happens. Actually, in that case, with the Harry Potter movies, the original actor for Dumbledore died before the third one was supposed to be recorded. So,
yeah,
he was an old man. Can't remember his name.
What was it?
You were talking about this YouTube channel about how they go over like different canceled and not released television shows and stuff.
out of all the shows, there's a lot of missing episodes for Mr. Roger.
Really?
There's the ones specifically I know they recently found it was the one where they talk about conflict, like nuclear war.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Where Mr. Rogers is explaining this is something serious. That we recommend you actually watch it with a parent this time.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it's like, hey, you can watch it by yourself. We talk about good things, good lessons. No, it's weird seeing a world where he's like, hey, I remember watching this as a kid, and now I'm watching it back. It's not it's the same where I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, what was it? But yeah, like I was also telling you, there's sometimes bounties for actual episodes.
Yeah.
Or actual piece of media, like what was it? Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah.
There's the TV live pilot that was shown
for
the first episode.
Yep.
And then there's a pilot that was used
to pitch it.
To actually pitch to Disney executives.
Mm-hmm.
That was later approved for Disney XD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I always remember it as the
Shed X?
No, that was the after one. That was like the late
Toon
night.
Disney?
Huh?
Toon Disney?
Yeah, I always remember as Toon Disney.
Wow. That goes way back.
Yeah. Nicktoons.
Well, Nicktoons is still a thing. Is it not?
It's barely a thing.
I mean, they never changed it. I mean, all it is just Nickelodeon's cartoons.
Yeah, it's just
the thing is that for a while back in the day, they used to show like the more edgy cartoons like Invader Zim and stuff like that. That kids of our generation will still go back and rewatch, as well as they ran like Ren and Stimpy late at night and stuff like that. Besides that, it's always just been SpongeBob and The Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron. Even now, I think they still rerun those.
Back then I preferred.
Well, SpongeBob is still running, isn't it?
Yeah, sadly.
Probably like on what? Sadly, I don't know. I haven't watched any late episodes.
They're beating the dust out of this horse.
I don't know. It might not be terrible. Well, I mean, let's look at it this way. SpongeBob has been great. It's gonna be around for a long time, and probably our kids are gonna be watching it, whether it's old reruns.
They won't know what it is. I'm making sure my kids won't know it.
Why?
I had to deal with it as a kid. Here's the thing. I liked it.
What's your problem, man?
I liked it. It's just, it's kind of, it's. Here's the thing. It's been on for way too long.
I don't think you know that. When was the last time you watched one of their episodes? I'm just saying, just don't judge blindly, because I haven't seen a new episode in years.
Actually, last weekend.
Really?
With my little sister.
And you watched a new episode?
It was actually a more recent one.
Okay.
It's alright. It's just I'm just kind of weird seeing that a whole new generation still watching something when I was growing up.
Oh, so you just feel old then?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm old.
Dude, it's gonna happen. I mean, there's also like there's shows much older than us that still get rerun. They still play. That's why Boomerang exists. They still play old episodes of the Flintstones and the Jetsons, shows that have been around for what 70, 80 years now. At least 60, 70 years. SpongeBob is going to be one of those big shows that's going to be running for a long time, and even by the time it stops running, after they show their last season, they're going to be rerunning it for decades to come because it's that popular. Especially as a meme, especially with the internet existing, people are going to be watching that show forever. It's a big one. It's literally as old as us too. Like you realize that SpongeBob was released the year that you were released.
God damn it. No, I just.
It's true
realized,
though.
Remember Teen Nick?
Yeah, I remember that too. I don't know if they still have that. I remember they used to show Degrassi and that '70s show and stuff like that.
And
as well as
Zoe 101.
Yeah, and I remember they did like a rerun of a bunch of '90s TV shows like All That and Kenan and Kel, which I remember growing up with and enjoying those shows too. I can definitely see them rerunning those shows, especially considering that Kenan Thompson is also basically the face of Saturday Night Live. That he will still always be remembered as the kid from Good Burger and Kenan and Kel and all that. He did sketch comedy ever since he was a kid.
I'm just trying to.
Literally.
I'm trying to find the actual original lineups for Nicktoons.
Yeah.
They had Hey Arnold, Cat Dog.
Yeah, I remember those, and they still rerun those shows sometimes.
Rocket Power.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was too long ago that I saw they were rerunning some of those shows, either on that channel or on Teen Nick, because they were doing that '90s rerun
Chalk Zone
block. Oh, dude, that was a great one. That was more of like early 2000s though. That was like our generation.
That was very early.
Yeah, that was more of our thing.
Cat Scratch.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one too. Oh yeah.
Where it was like 3 cats living.
Yeah. That was another like early 2000s one. I remember that.
The X's. That's a show I fondly remember.
That didn't run for a long time.
It wasn't.
Some of it was funny, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Like I said, it didn't run for a long time, and
it ran for 3 years.
Did it really?
Apparently,
interesting. Okay. There's also what was the Agents of Oz? That one ran for a while. No, that was a Nicktoons exclusive show.
I'm sorry, I just got reminded of the weirdest grotesque show, Mr. Meaty.
Oh, Mr. Meaty was a weird show. That was dark comedy. That was Nicktoons dark comedy, man.
Like looking at it,
that was a weird show.
How was I legally allowed to watch that?
Dude, you remember the misadventure? You remember the Misadventures of Flapjack?
Oh.
That was a dark show.
Yeah.
You remember Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Not dark enough.
Not dark enough. You're not perfect, dude. That show actually gave me nightmares as a kid. Like that. Wow.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom like, why are you letting me watch the show? She's like,
it's animated. It looks like it's for kids. They're playing it during the day. You're fine.
It's just.
There have been some dark. There's been some. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy had his dark moments. So that was the whole point of it.
I mean,
even Ed and Eddie, like there's some, especially cartoons. Just had some like weird things, and there's also like all those banned episodes of Pokemon that never came overseas. You know about that, right?
Yeah. There's one transgender episode for some reason.
There's a bunch of like there was even one where kids were actually having seizures. There was an episode featuring Porygon.
Yes.
Because there were.
There's actually an episode
moments of like just flashing light and of the screen, like kids were getting seizures from it.
There was an episode where
crazy.
One of the characters pulled a gun on Ash.
Oh yeah, they did happen. Yeah. Hey man, it was the '90s and it was in Japan first before it came overseas.
I know. I'm like, is this an American episode?
There's different standards.
I was assuming it was an American episode.
Nope.
Nope. It's Japan.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think, in its original run, I don't think, aside from a few episodes being removed overseas, I don't think Pokemon was censored at all. Especially because I don't even think that it was. I don't think Cartoon Network had the budget to edit those episodes when it on its first run. They just dubbed it. Same thing with 4Kids. It was funny though. You know that like a lot of those anime like Pokemon, Beyblade, Betamon, like all those really weird like Bakugan and and Yu-Gi-Oh and Dragon Ball Z. You know that a lot of them had several dubs by the same actors.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know why? And Digimon. But the reason why was because 4Kids TV, they actually push money towards Funimation to make a few redubs or a few tweaks on just literally changing just words here and there in the script for their own version. Same actors and everything, only they would replace certain words so it sounded more American. Like, I don't know if you remember maybe watching like an episode of Pokemon where they were eating rice balls and they called them donuts.
Oh. Yeah.
I cannot make this up. That's just an example. Like they did that all the time.
I'm sorry. I'm going through the channel. I just realized there's a Beauty and the Beast show.
What?
Live action show.
Like now?
Back then.
When?
Playhouse Disney.
Really? I don't remember that.
I don't either, but
Beauty and the Beast live action, a show.
Well, basically, it's
what?
Basically, it's Belle.
Excuse me.
It's Belle in her library teaching kids. I don't know.
What was it called?
I'm trying to find the name.
It's so weird. It sounds specific. I don't remember that at all. But then again, that might have played like early in the morning on Disney, for like those shows for like really young kids. What was it, Playhouse Disney?
Yeah, it was on Playhouse Disney.
Okay, yeah, I never watched that as a kid. Maybe that's why. I was sucked into Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. I was just all into the edgy, cartoons. That's all I wanted to watch. That and like the classic cartoons like Tom and Jerry and Flintstones, Jetsons. That was my stuff. I remember they would run Tom and Jerry early in the morning on weekdays. That's what I would watch before I went to school, and that's what I would watch before I went to elementary school in the mornings. It's Tom and Jerry. Yeah, and Pokemon, of course. Pokemon and Power Rangers. See, I remember they had Power Rangers in the morning on Nickelodeon. Now I'm just reminiscing while you're searching through your phone, John. You haven't said anything.
I'm searching. It's
now I'm just reminiscing. We're just talking about all these old shows.
It's straight up called Beauty and the Beast. I can't find any actual.
It's so weird. I don't remember that. But again, I didn't watch that as a kid. So
Out of a Box.
What?
Out of a Box, where you basically, it was a show where like, hey, get a cardboard box, you can make anything into it.
I don't remember that either. I gotta sit and watch that. I remember Roly Poly Oly. That was one.
Bear's Big Blue House.
I remember that one. I barely ever watched it, but I knew of it.
I knew of it as well.
I remember Oswald the Octopus. Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Clifford, yeah. Yeah, I feel old.
Yeah, now do you want to move on? Like, we're just sitting here reminiscing.
Sad. At this point, I'm just going to sit back and...
Oh, you want to get more sad? You want to talk about weather now? You want to get like actually depressed and concerned?
Oh, you're now concerned?
No. Now? Shut up and give us the topics. I know you brought them. You do this every week.
I've been trying to avoid them.
You can't. You can't avoid the facts. It's there. It's sitting there right in front of you.
I mean,
it's begging you.
It is. All right, where do you want me to start?
I don't know. I don't know what you have.
All right.
I remember you mentioned tornadoes.
All right. Today's May
31st.
31st.
It's Joey's birthday. It's out of context.
Which means tomorrow it is June 1st.
Yep. Start of hurricane season. Yep. That's right.
Even though last year was quote unquote, oh no, the NOAA Hurricane Center is reporting that we're gonna have a quote unquote normal season.
Hmm.
Now, when you say normal, which means what is normal at this point?
Yeah.
What is it, like at least 6 category 6s? I mean 4s, 5s. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this like I don't remember if it was last week or the week before that we're expecting like I don't know
A few.
category 4s,
Yeah.
category 5s.
At least minimum of 2. I want to say minimum of 1 or 2.
Okay.
That's my
it's,
personal.
it seems likely. Hey, no, that is the norm. Is that we get 1 or 2, whether it hits us or somewhere else in the South, like Texas or Louisiana. Rest in peace. Hopefully not. There was 1 year where
it was,
Sally hit New York. You know that was crazy.
Sandy.
Oh, Sandy. Sorry. No, yeah, you're right. Okay. But yeah, that
After that, I remember New York had replanned on what to do if that ever happens again.
Yeah, dude, that was huge.
The subways were gone for months.
That's crazy. Absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
They rebuilt, but jeez.
You know how much it took forever to pump those out.
Oh yeah.
And scrub all the sand out.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of labor, a lot of money.
All right, let's just skip straight to the. Let's skip the bullshit. Let's go back to the Midwest.
Okay, tornadoes.
Last week I told you it's been like, an average 50. Not what was it like? It was 30 something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, it was still cold. That's right. Yeah.
No, it was 30 something tornadoes within 3 days.
Oh, you're talking about okay.
Now, it's been about how many days? I want to say 16 days.
Something like that. Just over 2 weeks.
It's basically over 2 weeks that it's been nonstop tornado after tornado after tornado.
It's crazy.
The weathercasters and all their instruments have been overclocking.
Wow.
And they've been saying an average of one of probably 68 day.
Oh my God.
It's the same storm cell. It's the same storm. It hasn't moved.
That is absolutely bizarre.
And because here's the thing. I keep seeing like the weather radar is like, hey, you can see the rain. Still hasn't moved. Florida's dry.
Oh yeah, Florida's really dry.
Have you noticed Florida hasn't?
We haven't gotten any rain in like over a week, I think.
Over a couple weeks, and it's starting to get even hotter.
Yep, it's crazy.
So we're probably going to be at risk of fires soon. Well, I remember the north is starting to get some wildfires.
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. But you might be right. Soil's getting real dry.
No, the one thing I'm really worried about is the Everglades again. You know what? Back as kids, we were always told if the Everglades are on fire, that's it. That's it. They're gone.
That would be insane.
You know how much land that covers?
How much wildlife is in there?
If that's gone, there's nothing for Florida for what we can do. Because the amount of fire and smoke that produces.
Oh, it's massive.
It's
absolutely massive.
It will actually probably cover the equator again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know up in Canada they're having some wildfires again.
Yeah.
Soon we're gonna get more reports of California again.
Yeah, probably. Those were insane last year.
And they're technically gonna get a little bit worse.
There was even videos of like flame tornadoes. You ever see those?
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
That's a freak of nature, man.
They're not supposed to happen yet.
They do. Oh no, they do.
Oh no,
they certainly do.
No, I'm saying that for me. They're not supposed to happen.
It's like that's a nope. That's a nope. That doesn't happen.
So at that point, I just run up and throw a physics textbook at it and say, "You figure it out then."
Oh man.
Yeah, it's at the recording of the podcast. It's 12:35.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 hours ago, I got a report that in Arkansas, the levees for the river just broke open. Not like, hey, we broke it open so we can relieve No, there was no choice. It actually broke open on its own.
I remember you showed me a video of one of those dams.
Week.
Yeah.
Last week.
It was a dam like completely overflowing, just crashed down.
It's one of those slow drip dams where it's like, hey, if it gets high enough, the water just goes over.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh no!
it went over. It went past it. That was huge.
No, it went through it.
Yeah, no, that went through. Oh man, that was crazy. It was like Evan Almighty. Like it just burst. That's crazy. I can't imagine being around that. What alone what's it take to rebuild that?
Yeah. Well, I know South Dakota has snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wait, so sorry. Where was it you said that this levee broke?
Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah. I know the Carolinas are also having some rain.
Mm-hmm. We need that rain. It's got to come down here.
No.
Right now.
They're gonna say fuck you, Florida.
No, we need it. We need the rain.
California's like, oh, so now you.
I said, oh, so now you guys need water, huh? Uh-huh. Yeah. See how it feels, and actually, hey. If we do get the fire today, yeah, we're dead.
Yeah, no.
That'll be a serious problem.
I'm just gonna
curl up in a ball, just cry, get in the shower, cry again.
No, I won't be able to cry because that's wasting water.
Oh man.
How do Californians shower? We get in a shower and we wait.
Wow. I don't think it's that bad.
No. Comparing
them to like a third world country, that's pretty dark.
I was born there. I can do whatever I want.
Anything else in, like with this madness going on?
I saved 15 minutes on my car insurance.
What?
No, I always want to make that joke. It's like, anything else good you want to tell me? Well, I saved 15% on my car insurance.
Okay.
No,
we're not sponsored.
I'm not.
We're not. Anyway.
I honestly don't know because everything else that's happening is just political and I'm refusing to talk about it.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk about it.
Not really. Not at the moment. I feel like I was thinking about a few things I might want to bring up, but right now, I don't know. There's other things we were willing to talk about, obviously.
Well, all I know is I can probably mention one thing.
Sure, go ahead.
Car prices are gonna go up.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me say that.
Well, import tariffs are going up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot
about that. So might as well just raise the price for everything else.
That's possible. At the very least, imported cars are going to be becoming more expensive. People for the first time are going to be paying more for Toyotas and Hondas.
Hopefully, we won't have to see them again.
Shut up.
No, I'm sorry. Never mind. We already have the old crappy Civics here.
You're talking about lowriders. I'm talking about people that are trying to save money on gas, okay? Yeah. Buying Camrys and Corollas.
Get a Prius.
And Accords.
Get a Prius.
Speaking of saving money on gas, though, and not saving money on the actual car, Ferrari put out their new hybrid. Their new sport hybrid. Well, yeah. I don't know how you feel about it. I think it looks pretty dope, and I think it's...
I haven't seen it, but just hearing the concept of it is very interesting.
It is interesting, because, I don't know, Ferrari is...
What's the name?
Damn it, I was looking at it yesterday. Like FS90, I can't remember. So just look it up. It's this. They literally announced this just yesterday, I think.
SF90,
yeah, Casey Neistat was talking about it. It's right behind the new Roadster by 0.2 seconds.
986 horsepower.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's huge, man. That's a lot for a hybrid.
For a hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, it really puts in perspective the direction we're going for technology and transportation. And Ferrari is definitely a brand to rely on for that. What I find it interesting though, because I don't know, Ferrari is definitely, they've been very innovative lately with the types of models that they've been putting out this year and last year. They're definitely competing in a lot of areas, whereas previously they were always very traditional.
Yeah.
And they do still have they're always going to put out GTOs, you know. I don't think it's ever going to change with Ferrari because they've always been very focused. Back when Enzo owned it, the entire purpose of the company was to race, you know, only racing. The only reason why luxury Ferrari cars and like Ferrari sports cars open to the public was even made was to make money to build
More racing cars.
Yeah, more race cars, more impressive race cars that can continue to win over and over and over and over again.
Just to rub Lamborghini's face in the ground.
Lamborghini was never even, into racing. They started as a tractor company, and then later on when they
both started as tractors.
No.
Actually, no. You're
no.
Right.
Ferrari started under Alfa Romeo. Enzo Ferrari was a racer for Alfa Romeo, and the first Ferrari was a race car that he drove for Alfa Romeo. And then he got a few people to collaborate with him in order to build the company, and the rest is history. In fact, actually, he originally went to Fiat before he went to Alfa Romeo, but they refused him. They didn't think he was They didn't think he had the right experience or the right perspective as an engineer. So Alfa Romeo took him, and since then he actually he had a vendetta with Fiat. And well, look where the companies are now.
Fix it again, Tony.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Ferrari is going in a great direction right now with keeping their culture alive with their rich history and the cars that they still hand make, as well as the areas they're innovating in to compete with other big companies. They're always going to compete with Lamborghini, and now they can also compete with companies such as Bugatti and even American companies now such as Tesla. So they're expanding the horizon but beyond what they've traditionally done. I think it's a good direction. I think it's a step in a good direction for the car industry to keep competition going in order to keep innovation going and to help that whole issue with our prices.
Well, yeah,
because right now we're getting as much help as we can get, especially with imported cars.
I don't know what's up with this decade. Because we at the very end of this decade, we saw the surgence of muscle car race again.
Yeah.
Seeing who's the top dog.
Muscle cars are going in a very different direction from what they did traditionally.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, I think the most traditional muscle car in the market now is a Challenger, and they keep pushing that performance.
What's that one that our friend Joey keeps talking about? It was a Hennessy. Challenger Hennessy.
Oh, the Hennessy Challenger's over 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those things still just destroy the competition on the drag strip, even against sports cars such as a Corvette at times on a drag strip.
Because technically muscle cars are for drags strips.
Yeah. Traditionally, anyway, muscle cars were never designed to perform like sports cars.
Right.
But that's where in some cases the direction is going, because that's where competition is arising from other areas such as these new Japanese sports cars, these new Japanese sports and muscle cars that we're seeing. So there's I feel like people pick sides nowadays with whether it's are we building for the track now or are we building for the drag strip like we used to? Because these Camaros now, even though they're really, in terms of performance, they've never been better, and they still look great and they're comfortable. Those things are built for the track, and they're the best on the track right now.
Yeah.
And the worst part about it too is seeing where Ford is with the Mustang. Is that people swear by their Mustangs, but when it comes down to performance right now, they're far behind.
It's really not there. No, I'm agreeing with you. It's not really at the level that's supposed to be.
That it should be. The whole thing is that it's sad because that's the original pony car. That was the first one, and looking back on it, the first two generations are still the best.
It's because
by far
they started late in the race again. This time around, because this is coming after them saying, "Hey, we're only going to be producing trucks and Mustangs."
Yeah, that's the other thing too is that they're in a tough spot right now as a company, in that, and I don't know. I find that decision
strange.
Yes, in a business perspective as well, because it seems like the only way that's going to benefit them is appealing to people that keep on coming back for the same things for Mustangs and F-150s, even though performance-wise, right now, those are their worst models. They break down and they can't compete with the competition. Whereas a lot of their other cars, as far as the appeal that they made years back, when they put out the Fusions and the Fiestas, as far as from a business perspective, those cars were selling quite a bit in terms of they were appealing to people trying to save money on gas.
Right.
they were starting to compete with Toyota.
Yeah, personally, I did not agree with them.
And now they completely pulled back from that whole operation. So I don't really know what their goal is now as a company. Whether they want to compete with within other areas, or if they want to focus in one area that they're at the moment competing rather mediocrely in, but they know people are going to buy it anyway.
I don't know if they're trying to create their own market at that point.
It could be.
It probably can.
And in that perspective, I can understand that, because there are a lot of people that are so loyal to Ford. That's kind of the main thing.
I mean,
I don't know. I just find it weird, because they were going in a good direction in the sense that they were trying to expand the horizon in engineering. And now they're focusing in one specific area. It's like they completely changed their minds. It's like a complete 180 is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Or maybe they know something that we don't.
Who knows? I don't know, man.
Maybe the witch doctor's like, hey, stop that.
I don't know.
I mean...
Well, I'm sorry, because I know it's our time. Is there anything else we want to go over before we call this to a close? Because we have a few things going on today, and we need to call this episode a little bit shorter.
Honestly, that's it. I got nothing else.
Yeah, nothing else. How convenient. Yeah, okay. So wow, we went over gaming news, went over cartoon nostalgia, weather, and cars, the car industry. Fun. Well, I guess the same with our usual stuff, but nonetheless, we'll see you guys next week. With probably more updates on some more news.
If you guys need me, I'll be hibernating until the next podcast.
With that being said, this episode is brought to you by what's our sponsor for today?
Oak tree.
Oak trees. Oak trees are great. They're strong and tall. You keep those things alive. Keep planting them.
If you take a nice good look at them, they're very sturdy, nice fine grains.
No.
All right, can we wrap this up? I gotta go.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week with Joe Rogan on the show. All right, bye.